So you're thinking about making a move to Northern Michigan. Maybe you are able to work remotely and want to live the vacation lifestyle year round. Maybe you're about to retire, or maybe you just want to be near the water. Whatever the reason, there is no shortage of information on the internet and social media. And today I want to talk about some of the truths and some of the not so true things about relocating to Northern Michigan. So if you're thinking about relocating to Northern Michigan, either full-time or part-time, you're probably wondering, where should I live and how much is it going to cost? Today I'm going to answer those questions and also share with you a few things that I think you need to know before making the move to Northern Michigan. Now let's get into it. So when somebody contacts me about buying a home in Northern Michigan, one of the first questions I like to ask is, what is important about living in Northern Michigan to you? And what amenities do you need to be nearby? Are local schools important? Do you want to be near the hospital? Are you moving here to be near the water? What is your ideal setup while living in Northern Michigan? And while some people want to be close to everything and have a walkable neighborhood where they can walk to a small downtown, a lot of people also want to be out in the country. And what I love about Northern Michigan is we have both of those options for you. So one of your first questions is probably, what is it going to cost me to live in Northern Michigan? My short answer is a lot. Now, while I'm halfway joking, there is no shortage of information on the internet about how expensive Northern Michigan has gotten within the last 5 years or so. Now, while prices have skyrocketed, I have a lot of clients who have moved here from other areas who still feel, in comparison to other places around the country, given the quality of life you get in Northern Michigan, that home prices here are still a bargain. And again, if you've been watching the market for the last 5, 6, 7 years, the prices are a lot higher than they once were. However, there are still homes in every price range, no matter where you're looking. In fact, I just sold a client of mine a house just outside of Petoskey for $310,000. Now, while those kind of deals are not super common, they are still out there. And the earlier you begin to look in your housing search, the more likely you are to find one. Also, if you're a buyer that wants a rural setting, you want to be out in the country, maybe on a large piece of property, away from everything, outside of the hustle and bustle, you can still find incredibly reasonably priced houses that have tons of space, tons of elbow room, and allow you to live the country lifestyle in Northern Michigan. In fact, I just sold another client of mine a house on 5 acres just outside of Boyne City for $350,000. And they just love the country setting. They love not being able to see their neighbors, and yet still are a short drive to everything Northern Michigan has to offer. For those people looking for a house under the $300,000 range, which I would consider entry level in Northern Michigan in this day and age, the further away you can get from the big cities, and when I say big cities, I mean Petoskey or Traverse City for Northern Michigan, but the further you get outside of those areas, the less expensive the houses are. And the best part is, even in those areas, you're still going to be close to some body of water and also a short drive into Petoskey or Traverse City, given whichever one you decide to choose. If I were moving to Northern Michigan today, I would start out by asking myself, what do you want your daily life to look like? Chances are, if you are relocating to Northern Michigan, you want to live the vacation lifestyle year-round, which is what is drawing so many people here, especially with a lot of people retiring and with the ability to work from home. Now, if you are like a lot of my clients who have relocated from a big area and want to live in the country, there's a couple of things that have surprised them about what it's actually like to live in the country in Northern Michigan. First and foremost, and one of the questions I always get are, tell me about what it's like to have a well and septic. Now, many of you watching this probably aren't familiar with what a well and septic are because you likely live on city water and you just get a city water and sewer bill every month, and that's the last thing you have to think about is just making sure you pay the bill. Now, while well and septics are not as scary as they sound, there are some things you need to know. First and foremost, you're going to have to maintain them. You're going to have to make sure your well and the pump is operating correctly, and also make sure you get your septic pumped every 2 to 3 years depending on use. These items do not need to scare you, and if you don't want to handle it, you can certainly have somebody else help you with the maintenance of your septic and well. And you're going to love not having a sewer or water bill anymore. Also, something that you might not be thinking about is if you live in the country, you're going to have to deal with varmints. You're going to have to deal with mice, squirrels, and those types of things. Always want to get into your house, especially during the colder months. And while they are very harmless, they can be annoying, and you're going to want to make sure your house is sealed or you have a great exterminator nearby to make sure that those animals are removed from your property. Something else to consider while relocating to Northern Michigan. If schools are important to you when making a decision about where to relocate in Northern Michigan, I would recommend Petoskey, Harbor Springs, or even Boyne City. Those are the 3 most highly rated schools in this area and offer great education by giving you great teachers and small class sizes. They also have plenty of extracurricular activities, and great sports teams. Now we have talked about location, cost, and even quality of schools. And again, chances are, if you're relocating to Northern Michigan, you want to live the year-round lifestyle that many people are only able to live during their vacation time. With that in mind, when looking for a home, make sure you consider what you like to do to recreate, and make sure where you live gives you access to those things. If you want a boat, you're going to obviously make sure you either live on the water or live near a boat launch, and there are tons of those around Northern Michigan. Also, there are many back roads that allow you to ride your bike, whether it's this road bike, gravel bike, or even mountain bike. I like to use Strava to find bike paths, and there are a ton of them in Northern Michigan. One concern people have when relocating to Northern Michigan is, where will I shop? And now, while we don't have a strip mall, we have tons of great grocery stores and even a Home Goods located in Petoskey. And if you look between Petoskey, Gaylord, and Traverse City, they have all the stores that you're used to. This area also has great Spartan stores and even Meijer, which is a local favorite for places to shop for groceries. I also get a ton of questions about what the process of purchasing a home looks like, especially if I'm not in Northern Michigan. One thing that I think that sets my team apart from other agents in Northern Michigan is we do a really good job of getting you into homes quickly, whether it's virtually or in person. We have sold a ton of houses from people who have never actually seen the houses and have relied on our virtual tours as well as information about the area when making the decision on which house to buy. Another part of the process that's important about moving to Northern Michigan that's a little bit unique to other areas is, while you are able to use any lender you like, I recommend using a local Northern Michigan lender. There are tons of loan programs and little intricacies about living in Northern Michigan that lenders not from this area often don't know, thus making the process a little bit harder on you. And again, there are many great lenders here. We certainly have our favorite that I'd love to share with you. Timing is also very important when buying a house in Northern Michigan. I just looked, and the average time it takes from somebody to call us to actually move into their house is 111 days. And that's if things go very smoothly, meaning you're going to call us, we're going to set you up on a search, we're going to start sending you properties. Once you pick out the properties, we're going to see a few of them. Usually the process from the time you find a property to the time you close is 30 to 45 days. After that, you often have to give the seller time to move out of the house, which could add another 30 days to the process. So make sure, if you're considering making a move to Northern Michigan, that you call us as soon as possible to give yourself as much time and make the process as seamless and stress-free as possible. If after watching this video, you would like to learn more about what it's really like to live in Northern Michigan, or have any other questions Northern Michigan real estate related, please call me at 231-487-6141.